Hello, makers. I'm Jen, host of Making Conversation. It's one of those perfect press play while you craft kind of podcasts where we get to spend time with the brilliant people shaping the fiber arts community. This episode is another Flock Talk recorded live at the Flock Fiber Festival here in Seattle, Washington. I absolutely love bringing these conversations to you because whether you are at Flock, off looking for the perfect skein, and missed this chat or didn't make it at all, I hope that you feel like it kind of is like I'm bringing a little flock to you. Today's chat is called Crafting Businesses Beyond Yarn. I sat down on stage with a few amazing makers who have built thriving businesses that aren't about the yarn itself, but are deeply rooted in this fiber arts world that we all love. We'll hear from Shelly of Shelly Can, who designs joyful tools and artwork for makers, and Jen and Megan of Jam PDX, who bring humor, function, and artistry together in their playful ceramics. We dive into their maker backgrounds, how they fuel their ideas and products, and the realities and joys of running creative businesses that complement the yarn community in wonderful ways. If you're enjoying Making Conversation, make sure you hit that subscribe button. You really don't want to miss the future episodes coming out. Also, share with all of your fiber-loving friends. And if you feel so inclined, you can support the show on Ko-fi. It really does help keep these conversations going. Speaking of keeping the conversation going, at the heart of Making Conversation is the belief that creativity is inseparable from community. Protecting basic human rights matters deeply. Speaking up, calling out harm, and standing with marginalized voices isn't just necessary. It's the most powerful way we can build a world that we want to live in. Connected, safe, and full of possibility. Art in itself is a form of rebellion. It challenges the narratives that we've been handed and creates space to imagine something new. I've been following this creator for a while, and he really does say it best.
The work required to move the needle towards liberation also requires a deep reimagining of the systems, and the best way to do that, honestly, is through art, because art is really the only space where you're living in the flow of the imagination. You have to be willing to reimagine a system, and it's hard to do that with logic.
And if you don't already follow Joelle on Instagram, do yourself a favor and take a moment to change that. I want to be crystal clear. This podcast is built on the belief that harm and hate cannot and should not have a place in the world that we are working to create. Racism, sexism, transphobia, homophobia, xenophobia, and all other systems of oppression are destructive forces that strip people of safety, joy, and belonging. Making Conversation is about fiber arts and crafting, yes. But at its heart, it's about the people who make this community possible. The act of making is not just about craft. And through art, we don't just imagine something better. We begin to build it. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you. You are seen, you are loved, and you are important. All right, let's head back to the convention center for Flock Fiber Festival 2025 and hear from Shelly, Megan, and Jen about crafting business beyond yarn.
Hello, I'm Shelly. I started out as a knitter. My grandma taught me how to knit when I was very young, all garter stitch rectangles for decades. And then when the birth of Ravelry happened, got a lot more involved in sweaters and more complex garments and projects. At the time, I was a graphic designer and thought there could be some pretty cool knitting merch, and I'm going to try to make some. So I did a few small designs, ordered a couple batches of enamel pins, reached out to some various shops on the West Coast, actually, and I'm from the East Coast, so I don't know why I went so far. Oh, my sister lives on the West Coast, and I was like, I'll go out there, I'll pop around, do a couple pop-up shops, and it was received extraordinarily well, and it blew up into a full-time business. I feel very lucky.
My origin story is virtually identical. My grandmother taught me to both knit and crochet when I was probably about a second grader, and I was at dishcloth level with knitting at least for until Ravelry. But I felt like crochet was a little more approachable for me. I could fake my way through doilies. I could do whatever I want. You know, the stitches are all fairly free form. And if it's not perfectly flat, who cares? So Ravelry was also a huge inspiration for me as far as my knitting path. And my experience was looking what everybody else did and thinking, well, if they can do it, I can do it.
Yes.
So it turns out I can.
Good.
There's so much wonderful resources and community in the knitting world, in the yarn world. Always somebody to support you in learning something new.
Yeah.
And I became a cake decorator just out of high school, and I'm using that in our clay practice.
Nice. How did you start cake decorating?
Well, it just happened that I had to get a job after high school, and the neighborhood bakery was hiring, and I got a job selling donuts behind the counter. And I'm artistic, so I got trained to work on cakes in the back room. And that was the start of 15 years in pastry.
Wow. What's the weirdest cake decoration you've ever done?
It's not safe for work.
Is it? Do you care?
Yeah. Anybody offended by naughty cakes? I had to do some bachelorette party cake that had explicit content, and that was not my favorite thing to do, but I did it.
How did I know that was going to be the answer?
It's a dirty world.
Yeah, it's a dirty job and someone's got to do it.
I started knitting in college. I'm from Portland, but I went to college in Minnesota, and it was like a self-preservation thing. I knew I wanted winter. I did not want that much. So my boyfriend at the time actually showed me how to knit, and because he made all of his own wool socks. And I made the hugest scarf you've ever seen because I didn't know about casting on or how knitting grows. And it was very much an exploration of, let's just try this. I got one pattern from the one yarn store in Minneapolis that was called Fittin' Mittens, mitts that fit. And it showed you how to do math to fit your mitt. And then I was like, well, if a mitten is just a tube with one thumb, I could just put another thumb on the other side and make it bigger, and it's a sweater, right? And I literally made every mistake it was possible to make. But it was fun, and it seemed like I could just figure it out. And then I found out there were patterns where people had figured it out for you. So I still follow along with what people suggest, but I'm very much like, I could make that for me. I could make it my own style. And Megan and I have known each other since freshman year in high school. So she was working in a bakery. I was doing pottery in the evenings after my dead-end corporate job for my soul. And she had the idea to combine, like, could we combine the things that we're doing? Can you pipe on pots? So
turns out you can.
You can. Nobody said we couldn't. We've been doing that for 20 years together.
Nice.
Yeah.
Turns out we're old.
Young in heart always.
Absolutely. 100%.
Yeah. Your work has its own identity, but is still deeply connected to the fiber arts. How has your experience as a maker, everything from the skills you've learned to the way this community thinks and feels, shaped the products you create, the materials you choose, and even the way you run your business?
Our first fiber-focused item was a yarn bowl because we were both knitters, and the yarn bowls that existed out there at the time weren't really what we thought they should be. So
yeah, it seemed like a lot of them were somebody said, I have an idea for a yarn bowl, and my uncle could maybe make it. And it was this disconnect. And we're like, we are knitters. We could make yarn bowls for the way we knit.
So we put a lid on it. And we think we were the first to put a lid on a yarn bowl and put the cutout in the lid. For me, I feel like it makes it look like I cleaned up my project when I put the lid on it and leave it on the coffee table instead of leaving my work all over the house, which is the way I roll.
And I celebrate the end of a project with, a bowl that could hold ice cream. No holes in it, right?
Also, you've said that the cats are less interested in that bouncing ball of yarn.
Yeah.
They like to see the ball moving. The lid kind of keeps it secret.
Yeah. So cats also inspire your.
I mean, your mileage may vary.
It is the most practical yarn ball I've ever used.
Thanks.
Everything stays put, otherwise it flies right out. My answer is the same again.
Cats.
As a
Cats
maker-
inspire everything.
You learn what works as a maker, so you understand your product a lot better. And so it inspires not just graphic and visual elements, but also the functional purpose. And it makes it very easy to combine the two into something that makers will appreciate and enjoy.
Well, and also because, like Megan said, the maker community is so supportive and interactive. We will make things for us who are like, this speaks to my soul, and the amazing joy that it speaks to other people also. Like, that's the best. We play yarn chicken. We love color.
Yeah.
Walk us through the journey of a specific product, like from the first spark of the idea to the moment it's in somebody's hands.
So from idea to production.
Yeah. And is there something that people, like most people, wouldn't know about that process?
Possibly. I'll just ramble the whole process. And if something's
Love it.
new, that's great. It usually starts with a specific event or reason to create something. And that's where the inspiration will begin. So for example, the fish seaside collection, all my fall events are going to be near some body of water. This event and all events after this one will be the fish seaside related merch. So then you start thinking about the products you're going to make. That'll dictate the scale of the product and how big or large the illustrations should be, how it's going to be used, and everything will kind of bounce off. One idea will birth another one. Colors, what's trending in fashion, and general the vibe of what people are looking at on social media. And then the production, you consider timing, how long something takes, how everything's going to schedule together. There's always something that can go wrong. So some kind of hardware might not be available, or a t-shirt base. So you're just kind of working with a lot of different moving pieces, and eventually it all comes together towards the end. You ship it all off to a show, hope it all makes it there, and then everyone goes bananas and you have none left. Hopefully.
That's the goal.
That's the goal.
So when you say that your colors kind of come from like fashion and what people are looking at on social media, is that just like gut feeling, you just scrolling for fun before bed and then seeing what's out there? Or is there like specific research that you do?
Sometimes you see a lot of the colorways that people are creating through social media. So other dyers, people doing like different fabrics coming across. I follow a lot of maker accounts. And sometimes I'll just decide on something that is for this collection. I don't typically do a lot of blues. It's just not a personal choice of mine, even though I think I'm wearing all blue right now. But often I like to try to find something that's the opposite of what the collection traditionally is. So I almost picked a palette of like pinks and reds and yellows. And then so it could just come from all over the place and eventually land on something that's right. I do a lot of research on Pinterest for color palettes. Sometimes I look specifically to the theme of my booth right now is a fish market. So different fish market stuff. I looked at a lot of different fish markets and branding for seafood restaurants. And so that was a good place to look for inspiration. It makes it feel a little bit more tied to both a theme and then what might be happening inspiration-wise with the businesses in the industry.
I think usually Megan has more inspiration than I do. So you like start with sketches.
Oh,
I
yeah.
want to say what you do.
I do have ideas, and sometimes they come from something and sometimes they don't. It feels like it just comes out of nowhere. And sometimes I feel like I get a universe signal that something is coming. Like we did a lavender that I was so excited about, this lavender for probably 2 years before it hit the mainstream. And then all of a sudden everybody was doing lavender everything. And so we were on top of that. We were ready for that trend. This year I had a feeling about butter yellow, and then we got this email from our wholesale company saying that butter yellow was trending. It's not trending quite enough, but but the idea is there. I don't know how it happens, but sometimes I just feel it coming.
Yeah. It's a listen to your gut thing.
Yeah, it's a listen.
Yeah,
to
it's
your gut
important
thing.
to do that.
Ceramics takes a really long time from idea inception to finished product, because it's truly just get the clay wet, let it dry, get it wet again, let it dry again, and then you get it wet again, and you let it dry again.
Get it hot and let it
get it hot,
cool, and then get
right?
it hot and let it cool.
So developing a new glaze can take us 6 months. Testing, prototyping a design, like we actually did prototypes for our custom event mug for this event 3 months ago, right? To see, is this color right? Are these combinations right?
Which one speaks to us most when we pull it out of the kiln finally? Because it all starts differently than it ends.
Right. You don't know what it's going to look like until it's totally done. And there's still variation in there. We do some sketching. We focus on making sure the form and the design are in good relationship with each other.
Yeah, they have to work together.
Right? Like no piping where your lips are going to go or where your hand's going to go on a mug. And sometimes you don't know that till the very end.
Yeah, we want to make sure that it looks good, but we also want to make sure it feels good to use it, or there's no point.
Your work clearly reflects your values. For example, Jam PDX, because I know my mother will be watching these, I'm just going to say F the patriarchy.
I'll try to be better.
No, you're fine. It's literally what comes out of my mouth that I'm worried about.
So done
And
smash the patriarchy.
smash,
Yeah, that's
F.
totally, yeah.
Dissent is patriotic. Can you share a specific example of how those values influence your creative decisions besides just like putting the anger of things that are happening around us right now into just like on a mug?
Well, at the beginning of the pandemic, everybody was in a panic. I think we can sort of all recognize that. Life was scary. The world was scary. Business was especially scary. And one of the things we decided to do right away was donations. So we started doing a fortnightly. This was Jen's idea. She
I think it's a cool word.
Fortnightly.
Fortnightly donations. And we picked organizations that we felt reflected our personal values, because it felt like that's the only thing we could do to contribute good to the world right then.
Yeah, and we broke it up between local, as in super local, like the food kitchen down the street, regional and national. And it was researched, and it was 15% of every sale that happened in that fortnight. And that helped a lot. It helped us feel like we were managing our own crisis stress, but helping others too.
Yeah. And it was actually good for sales because it helped other people feel like they had a reason to buy and that they were supporting something good when they did that.
Mm-hmm. Zoom calls made so many people say, I'm getting the mug. The other thing that we do is keep a stock of pieces that are ready to be decorated. They're made, they're dried, they're just there so that when inspiration strikes, we don't have a 2-week lead time to get it out. We just try to have some, we call them blanks. We try to have some so that if you wake up with feelings, you can use art to express them.
Yes.
Or if something really funny happens in the real world,
my God,
please scream inside your heart. was a meme for a while, and we painted that on the mugs, and people loved it.
I think that, we all put so much into what we do, whether it is, what you all are doing or are making and knitting and crocheting. I think it's really important for businesses to reflect values so that you can see too, like who you're giving your money to.
Yeah, you're voting with your dollars.
Yeah.
Everywhere you go.
Mm-hmm. Really don't want anyone to be surprised when they find out what our values are. Like,
yeah, if
should know that
if we get pushed back online, we assume we're not loud enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's fair.
They should have already known that.
My products the production time doesn't always make me able to do something off the cuff. But outside of that, I feel all the same way. It's so nice to be able to work in an industry where people where certain issues matter so much and everyone is so passionate, it's always received really well, and it's easy to put your own personality value system into something, and really make it reflect your own self, which is awesome.
It's probably the best part of not working in corporate America.
Absolutely.
We get to really live our truth.
Yeah, definitely.
We are the man.
There is no HR. I am the CEO and HR, and HR approves.
Vanessa from Ocean Knits, her HR is her dog.
Yeah.
So
God,
it's a little wild.
that's rough.
Oh, you went there. Okay.
No pun.
Thank you for going there. I appreciate it. What role does feedback from other makers play in shaping what you create? Have there been moments where the community's needs or voices change the direction of your work?
Well, we always want to improve. Early on, we didn't realize we needed to sand the bottoms of our pots.
Oh my God.
So it was a yarn store owner that said, these are a little rough on the bottom. If we put them on our table, it's going to scratch our table. It's handmade. You can make a doily. But then we realized that's ridiculous. We can sand the bottom of the pot.
Now we triple sand the bottom of every pot.
They are smooth like cashmere.
Ooh, cashmere. I think a lot of my feedback came early on. Any kind of feedback is good feedback. When I was first printing t-shirts, a lot of the major t-shirt companies, they don't have a very inclusive size range. So as somebody who started out just kind of working for myself, there's no one offering you any kind of guideline. I mean, one benefit to working for a larger company is that they have established some kind of routine or process. But I would get feedback asking for more sizes, and it had me doing some research, looking for companies, all the right companies for all the different products, making sure that I could have something for everyone. So without that feedback, it would have been, I would have had a lot of unhappy customers, and nobody wants that. So now I'm able to produce things for more people and really be mindful about the items that I'm making. So
that reminded me, when we first started selling wholesale to yarn stores, that's when I realized we needed to break up our crafty mugs into categories, because while the yarn store owner might like the spicier version, they know their customers, they know their area. So we made it easier for them, right? So it's like, would you like the sweet mugs or the sassy mugs or the uncensored? Because we don't want to make any assumptions about who your people are, but we want to make sure you have options. Yeah.
You always start with yourself. Like, I like this subject or these colors, or you pick something based on, because it is so much of you going into it. So when people come from, another perspective and they're like, we actually like this too. It's like, okay, I'll make navy blue. Fine. But it's just genuinely very helpful, especially small businesses. I'm only one person. I would always have somebody to bounce ideas off of, and that is the community.
We are going to do rapid fire questions. Ooh. It's not scary, I promise.
Is there a buzzer?
There's no buzzer. Okay. There's actually no rules. So I make the rules, so there's no rules. Quick answer, unless you feel like you want to explain yourself, then feel free. But here we go. Ready? Okay. Favorite snack at the end of a long day?
Popcorn.
Mashed potatoes.
Ooh.
Valid.
Wait, I changed it to cheese.
Oh,
Cheese.
Brownie crisp ice cream sandwiches from Trader Joe's.
Ooh.
That's a good one.
That's a good one.
Really good.
Now, do you just go to the fridge and pull out the block of cheese and cut off a slice and eat it?
You're assuming that I only have one kind of cheese in my fridge.
You pull out all of the blocks of your cheese.
It's either like string cheese or the Laughing Cow. Those are individually packaged, but sometimes I'm going to get out the crackers too. And then, it's cut off a bit.
Yeah.
Of the smoked Gouda.
Ooh.
Yeah, my favorite would be if somebody sliced the cheese for me and an apple. I would like the apple and the cheese, but I
like Shelly's prepackaged, easy to open options as well.
Oh yeah, that's basically that's how I choose everything. Can I bring it into bed?
Yeah.
Not popcorn. No. You'd be surprised. There's a lot of crumbs, but
Remember, there's no
we're
rules,
bad.
okay? A skill completely unrelated to your business that you are proud of.
I'm a software engineer. I'm a coder.
Ah,
Coding.
I am a kick-ass cake decorator.
yeah. There we go.
I'm really good at Adobe InDesign.
Hell yeah.
I can lay out those pages.
Perfect.
Good to have around.
Yeah,
So is the cake decorating. So these are totally related. We broke the rules.
it's okay. Remember, there are no rules. We'll let it pass. Most used emoji in your texts.
Cry laughing.
Now, is
Cry
it the
laughing.
tilted one or the straight one?
The straight one. The straight up and down one.
I use the tilted one.
I do the straight one, but it's 3 of them.
Yeah.
The single one, it's not as funny enough.
Although if it's for business correspondence, it's a thumbs up.
But maybe now adding 3 laughing emojis, just see how it goes, you know? We're testing. see what the community says. What is a song that always gets you out of a creative funk?
What's that one from Guardians of the Galaxy? Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. It's that.
Oh yeah.
Dun, 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 dun.
Come and get your
Yeah,
love.
come and get- yeah, I'll do that one.
There we go. We almost started karaoke.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think I have one.
I think I have. What is it? It's one by Robin, not the like old school '90s one, and then it's a remix. I listen to a lot of really like obnoxious club remixes of '90s pop songs. It's like I have a whole playlist, and they're all so great. There's a lot of bass, and like anything with a lot of bass is good.
I like disco.
Yeah.
Nice. Now I just see Shelly.
Getting you out of a
In-
funk.
Yeah.
Dance party after this.
Dance party.
I'll sing.
Yeah. So this is somebody that you haven't worked with yet, but what is your dream collaboration partner?
There's a potter in Montana that does illustrations, like painted illustrations on pots, Sue Tyrrell. And I think it'd be really fun to make pots for her to decorate.
That's cool.
I think it would be really interesting
That's really cool.
because most of her pots are like hand formed with slabs. She does some thrown work too, but I think that would be really fun.
That is really cool. I would like to work with a knitwear designer and do not necessarily illustrations and graphics, but be able to incorporate the design into a chart. So have it become color work.
Ooh.
So like, and it's a
Yeah.
little complex because little details get lost in a chart. Like the knitting would have to be, the gauge would have to either be very small to incorporate a lot of detail, or the illustration would have to become a little bit larger and less detailed for it to work in a more simple chart. That could be fun.
Mine's also a potter. Her name's Kristen Kiefer. And she's on
Oh, that would be
the
amazing.
East Coast, and she was one of our original inspirations.
Oh, love that. Do you have a specific designer?
No, there's so many.
Yeah.
Heads
And
up.
my brain won't
Anyone?
process. No, like last year, I think you asked me a question about a celebrity something, and I was like,
Yeah.
I don't know any celebrity now. They're all disappeared. Who
You know,
Yeah.
It's hard to do these when it's like the end of the second day or nearing the end of the second day.
I don't know my own name.
Okay. Well, if
Shelly.
yeah,
Bless you.
if you end up thinking of something, just
Sure.
post it on stories.
I'll just shout it out in the middle of the marketplace.
You just run down the aisle.
Designer.
Okay, so that is the end of the rapid
Well,
question.
good, because all celebrities just also went out of my mind.
Perfect.
Barack Obama.
If you could leave the fiber community with one thought about the role of businesses like yours, the ones that aren't yarn but are built from a love of craft, what would it be?
We're in this with you. we're part of it. We're excited to work with yarn, and if it's your yarn, great.
Yeah, love being here. Love everything about it. I don't feel like there's a separation, honestly. I feel like everything is very like all of these events. Everyone gets together. Everyone's familiar with each other. We all jive really well.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, the support that comes back to us, like so many people come and say, oh, I got this at Flock 2023 and I use it every day. Like that sort of reconnecting the circle of we made the thing and you like the thing and you tell us and then we make more is very, it means so much.
Last question. What is one piece of advice for somebody dreaming of starting a creative business beyond yarn?
Just start. Just start, do what you like, and just start. Don't wait until you think it's ready.
Fear's such an inhibitor, and we have fears. The world's not going to end. Also, you're not getting younger. Also, this is your only life. Just do it.
Do it scared.
And do it slow.
Yeah.
Figure out what you're actually doing before you get in over your head. But build. Keep growing, and that's all you can ask.
And if you don't think you can do it all by yourself, find a really good friend who you love, who's like, I can do that too. Yeah, that helps.
And then buy matching outfits.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or do it alone and make everyone else adopt you.
Perfect. Oh, thank you guys so much for sharing, a little behind the scenes of some amazing businesses that are within our community that are not directly creating yarn. But yeah, I think that all of us can say that like we're really glad that you do what you do, because it gives us other pretty things to look at while we are using the yarn,
Thank you for having us.
Thank you
so much.
And thank you all for hanging out. And did anyone get some good whip work done? Yeah? Good.